Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Jivedoya Kori Swapashada Sviyadama Sava Avatari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Rupa Sanatana Padedante Chinakori Bhakati Vinoda Pode Dun Padadori Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo, Hari Bol. Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Kandiya bole amito adama Vishikaya saranagati koru e utama Kandiya bole amito adama Shikaye sanagati koro e utama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Bolo Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitador Hari Bol Hari Bol Bola Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Nitya Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Bol Hari Bol, Bol Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Gaura Hari Bol. Out of compassion for the fallen souls, Sri Krishna Chaitanya came to this world with his personal associates and divine abode to teach Saranagati, surrender to the Almighty Godhead, and to freely distribute ecstatic love of God, which is ordinarily very difficult to obtain. This Saranagati is the very life of the true devotee. The ways of Saranagati are humility, dedication of the self, acceptance of the Lord as one's only maintainer, faith that Krishna will surely protect, execution of only those acts favorable to pure devotion, and renunciation of conduct adverse to pure devotion. The youthful son of Nanda Maharaj, Sri Krishna, hears the prayers of anyone who takes refuge in him by this sixfold practice, that is, humility, dedication of the self, acceptance of the Lord as one's only maintainer, faith that Krishna will surely protect, execution of only those acts favorable to pure devotion, and renunciation of conduct adverse to pure devotion. Haribo, Haribo, Haribo. So this next bhajan is called Bhoga, offering food to the Lord. My Sham Sundar, you dwell in my heart. Kindly accept this humble food offering of mine. You accepted the offering of wild plums by Shabari, as well as the puffed rice of Sudama. You rejected the delicacies offered to you by Duryodhan in favor of the simple fare, or the simple prasad at the house of Vidura. My beloved Sham, make this food veritable nectar by partaking of it first. Make this food even more delicious by touching it to the lips of Shri Radharani. Make it so that whoever tastes this blessed food becomes yours and starts singing your glories. O Giridhari Nagara, one who lifted the Govardhan mountain, please come and give us your darshan, as you did to your dear devotee Mira. Shamarasiya mere manabasiya ruchi ruchi Bhogalagorasiya. Shamarasiya mere manabasiya ruchi ruchi Bhogalagorasiya. Bilyani ke bera sudama ke kandula Bilyani ke bera sudama tandula Prema se bhoga lagayo rasiya Shamarasiya mere manabasiya ruchi ruchi Bhogalagorasiya. yadan ke meva tyagi Chaga vidura garakayo rasiya Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Aisho bhoga lagayo mere rasa Premamrita bana jai rasiya Sham rasiya mere mana basiya Ruchi ruchi bhoga lago rasiya Radharani ke adharana dari Yorahun sarasabana rasiya Bolo Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Jo koi isa bhoga ko pai Sitero bana jai rasiya Tere hi guna gai rasa rasiya Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Mera ke Prabhu Giridhara Nagara Mera ke Prabhu Giridhara Nagara Akara darasa dikhao rasiya Bolo akara tara sadika rasiya. Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Sham Rasiya mere man basiya. Bolo Sham Rasiya mere man basiya. Ruchi ruchi bhogal borasiya. Bolo ruchi ruchi bhogal borasiya. Bolo mera ke Prabhu Giridhar Nagara, mera ke Prabhu Giridhar Nagara. Bolo mera Prabhu Giridhar Nagara. Bolo akara dara sadika rasaya. Bolo akara dara sadika rasaya. Bolo Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Bolo Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Hare. Gita Haribo 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 Haribo. Gora Premanande ki Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Balaba Girivardhari. Yashoda Nandana Bhaja Jana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Bhaja Jana Ranjana. Jamuna Dira Vanachari. Jamuna Dira Vanachari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Shrimad Bhagavad Gita Grantaraj ki jai. Bolo Srila Prabhupada Patita Pavana ki jai. So today we're going to study a verse from the Bhagavad Gita, 5th chapter, verse number 26. 5th chapter, verse 26. And this verse says, you can repeat, Kama Krodha Vimuktanam, Kama Krodha Vimuktanam, Kama Krodha Vimuktanam, Yatinam Yatachetasam, Yatinam Yatachetasam, Abhito Brahma Nirvanam, Abhito Brahma Nirvanam Vartate Viditatmanam Vartate Viditatmanam Kama Krodha Vimuktanam Yatinam Yatachetasam Abhito Brahma Nirvanam Vartate Viditatmanam Kama Krodha Vimuktanam Yatinam Yatachetasam Abhito Brahma Nirvanam Vartate Viditatmanam Kama Krodha Vimuktanam Yatinam Yatachetasam
Abhito Brahma Nirvanam
Abhito Brahma Nirvanam Vartate Viditatmanam
Kama Krodha Vimuktanam
Kama Krodha Vimuktanam
Yatinam Yatachetasam
Yatinam Yatachetasam
Abhito Brahma Nirvanam
Abhito Brahma Nirvanam
Vartate
Vartate
Viditatmanam
Viditatmanam
Kama Krodha Vimuktanam
Kama Krodha Vimuktanam
Yatinam Yatachetasam
Yatinam Yatachetasam
Abhito Brahma Nirvanam
Abhito Brahma Nirvanam
Vartate Viditatmanam
Vartate Viditatmanam. Ladies? Kama Krodha Vimuktanam Yatinam Yatachetasam Abhito Brahma Nirvanam Vartate Viditatmanam. Anybody else? Kama Krodha Vimuktanam Yatinam Yatachetasam Abhito Brahma Nirvanam Vartate Viditatmanam. Kama from desires, Krodha and anger, Vimuktanam of those who are liberated, Yatinam of the saintly persons, Yatachetasam who have full control over the mind, Abhitaha assured in a near future, Brahma Nirvanam liberation in the Supreme, Vartate is there, Vidita Atmanam of those who are self-realized. Translation: those who are free from anger and all material desires, who are self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly endeavoring for perfection, are assured of liberation in the Supreme in the very near future. Please repeat. Those who are free from anger and all material desires, who are self-realized, self-disciplined, and constantly endeavoring for perfection, are assured of liberation in the Supreme in the very near future. Please repeat. Okay, so purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Jai. Of the saintly persons who are constantly engaged in striving towards salvation, one who is in Krishna consciousness is the best of all. Well, this is a verse in the next chapter. Yoginam apisarvesam madgatanantaratmana shadavam bhajate yomam sa me yuktatamo matak. So Krishna says to Arjuna, after explaining all different types of yoga, he says, and of all yogis, the one with great faith who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself and renders transcendental loving service to me, he is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is the highest of all yogis. That is my opinion. So, therefore, here is simply repeating that, or paraphrasing it. Of all saintly persons who are constantly engaged in striving towards salvation, one who is in Krishna consciousness is the best of all. The Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto's 22nd chapter, 39th verse, confirms this fact as follows. Yet pada pankaja palasa vilasa bhaktya karma sayam grahitam udrata yanti santak, and so forth. Just try to worship in devotional service, or bhakti, Vasudeva, meaning Krishna, the son of Vasudeva, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Even great sages are not able to control the forces of the senses as effectively as those who are engaged in transcendental bliss by serving the lotus feet of the Lord, uprooting the deep-grown desire for fruitive activities. Well, this is a profound verse. The example of this is Durvasa Muni and Ambarisha Maharaj. Durvasa Muni was a great, highly accomplished Siddha yogi, and Ambarish Maharaj was a king, engaged in managing a kingdom. But yet, Ambarish Maharaj was a pure devotee of Krishna, and Durvasa Muni was a great yogi. So Durvasa Muni became jealous of Maharaj Ambarish because he was known as a great devotee, not only as a great king, but a great devotee. People respected him. So he thought, this is nonsense. He doesn't know Vedanta. Hasn't mastered any siddhis like me. So he tried to kill him. He was a master of mystical yoga, so he pulled out a hair from his head and made it powerful by mantra, and a demon came out, a fiery demon, and the demon was going to kill Ambarish Maharaj. And when Krishna saw this, because Krishna is in the heart, right? It's Paramatma. He's seeing everything. He immediately threw his Sudarshan chakra and killed that demon. And then the Sudarshan chakra, after cutting off the head of the demon, turned around and started running after, pursuing Maharaj Durvasa Muni. And Durvasa Muni hightailed it out of Dodge, as they say. You know Dodge, if you watch television in the 1960s, you would have known what Dodge is. It was a town in the West, Wild West. Anyway, he ran away as fast as possible. And he could run very fast because he was a mystic yogi. But everywhere he ran first to Lord Brahma. And Lord Brahma said, "Bhai Sahib, I can't do anything." And he said, "Why not? You're Brahma. You're creator of the material." I said, "Yes, but that is Vishnu's chakra. I am nothing compared to Vishnu's chakra. I can't help you." So then Durvasa Muni is related to Lord Shiva. He's a partial incarnation of Lord Shiva. So he went to Lord Shiva on Mount Kailash and fell at his feet. He said, "Please help me." Lord Shiva said, "Bhai Sahib, can't do anything." He said, "Why not?" He said, "That's Lord Vishnu's chakra. I'm powerless next to Lord Vishnu's chakra." So then Durvasa Muni said, "Okay, then I'll go see Lord Vishnu." That's how powerful he was. He had mystical powers. He went to Svetadvip and saw Lord Vishnu. He said, "Please help me, it's your chakra." He said, "Bhai Sahib, I can't do anything." He said, "What? It's your chakra." He said, "I know it's my chakra, but only Ambarish Maharaj can stop it." You see? So this is very instructive. If you insult a devotee, only the devotee that you insulted can free you from the curse that's going to happen. Krishna will not forgive you, because Krishna loves his devotee. But the devotee, a real devotee, will forgive you. So Durvasa Muni had no choice but to go back to Ambarish Maharaj, fall at his feet and beg for forgiveness. So he was running away from the Sudarshan chakra for 1 year. And Ambarish Maharaj had been fasting the previous year And when Durvasa Muni came to see him, he was ready to break his fast, but now this saintly person came, so he couldn't break his fast. So he offered to feed Durvasa Muni. But Durvasa Muni said, okay, but first I'm going to go take a bath and come back. So Brahmins are supposed to bathe 3 times a day. If you bathe 3 times a day, you become very healthy. Most people bathe once a day. Some people bathe once a week. Some people don't bathe at all. But anyway, so he went to take a bath and come back to take his lunch. In the meantime, Ambrish Maharaj was concerned because he had been fasting for 1 year, he and his wife both. So he asked the other Brahmins there, what should I do? Because the time to break the fast had come. You have a certain window, a tithi, to break the fast. So the Brahmins said, well, if you just drink a little bit of water, that'll officially break the fast, but you're not eating, so you won't insult Durvasa Muni. So Ambrish Maharaj, being an ideal king, listened to the advice of the Brahmins. See, nowadays, the leaders of society, they don't listen to the advice of the Brahmins. They listen to the advice of the demons. See, that's why there's so much trouble. Anyway, Ambrish Maharaj took a little bit, like a little spoonful of water, just to break the fast officially as he was supposed to do, because he followed Vedic Dharma perfectly. But Durvasa Muni, being a mystic yogi, perceived that he broke his fast. So he came back and said, what, this is nonsense? You were eating? He said, no, I didn't eat. I took advice from the Brahmins. I don't care, Brahmins. I'm going to kill you. You see how people, when they get angry, they can do anything. They act crazy when they go angry. So, gentlemen, control your anger. And ladies, control your anger. Because you only get in trouble when you get angry. Of course, if someone insults Krishna and you get angry, just like Jatayu got angry when he heard Sita Devi crying out, please help me. And then he went and faced Ravana. Of course, Ravana killed him, but still, he was willing to die for Sita because she was being defiled by the demons. So that type of anger, just like Hanuman got angry when Ravana set fire to his tail, he said, aha, you're setting fire to my tail. Okay, with my tail burning, I'm going to set fire to your whole city of Lanka. And he did. He burned the whole city down. Right? So, that anger is justified, because if someone insults Krishna and you just stand there and don't say anything, that's an offense. But if someone insults you, then you shouldn't consider it an insult. Because what is insulted when you're insulted? Let's discuss that. Let's say you have a toothache. Can you point to where it hurts? Sir, if you had a toothache, can you point to where it hurts? Can you say, it's right here, this tooth here, right? You can point it. When you get insulted, what hurts? Anybody? What hurts when you get insulted? Your heart? But if the doctor looks at it and says, your heart's in perfect condition, there's nothing wrong with it. Huh? Your ego? Your feelings. The doctor will give you a full checkup and say, Jai Balam, you're in perfect health. Why did you come here? Now, what gets hurt is your false ego. Now, notice we said false ego. Like, for example, one time I was speaking to this friend of mine who was an Arab. And I said to him, you know, you should become a brahmachari. He said, what? That's an insult. I said, what's the insult? So I am Arab. I said, I know, okay, so what? You're Arab. So I said, no, I cannot live without a woman. I said, you've already been married 4 times. It doesn't matter. I'm an Arab. See, that's a false ego, right? False ego. So what? You're Arab. So what? What does that mean? That doesn't mean, you know, every Arab has to have 4, 10, 15 wives. It's a false concept. So And then people, that's something a little far from us. But some people say, I am Andhra. The other person, I'm Telangana. So that's a false ego, you see. Or I am Muslim from Kashmir, and Kashmir is ours, not the Hindus. Now, again, that's a false concept. That's the false ego. You're identifying with something that's temporary, that's not you in reality. But if someone says something against the Telangana, the Telangana people, they're ready to fight, they're ready to kill, right? And if someone says something about the Muslims in Kashmir, they're ready to fight, right? So, when someone insults you, you should understand, they didn't insult me. I am the soul. I'm not this body. Therefore, I don't care about that insult. And because they focus their mind on Krishna. This is the way to not get angry when people insult. You understand, I'm not this body. They're just trying to insult this body. But I'm not this body. I'm the eternal soul and the eternal servant of Krishna. Therefore, I can tolerate this. So, many times, newly married women come and see me and they say, Prabhuji, I can't live with my husband anymore. I said, why not? It's because of his mother. I said, what does that have to do with him? Well, his mother comes and sees us, and she doesn't like me, and I don't like her, so I can't stay in the house anymore. Now, you see, that is a false feeling again. Because, first of all, how long is the mother-in-law going to stay there? It's not going to stay there forever. And she has to learn to tolerate. But if you're thinking, I am this body, I want my space, this is my house, what is she doing here? You get angry. But if you think, wait a minute, I'm not this body, this house is just a temporary place, but in this house, I'm going to worship Krishna. Just like Mirabai, what did she say? She's saying here, Mira ke Prabhu Giridhari Nagara Agakara Darasa Dikao Rasya. O Giridhari Nagar, the O Giridhari who lifted Govardhan mountain, please come and give me your darshan as you did to your dear devotee Mira. So, if you have Krishna darshan always, then you don't care, mother-in-law, father-in-law, neighbor, husband, who cares? You can tolerate any situation because you have something much more valuable. Look how beautiful Krishna is. This is the real value in life. And this culture, the culture of serving Krishna, making nice flower garlands, singing for Krishna. And by the way, on September 5th, the day after our festival in Crossroads Park, our Ratha Yatra Flavors of India Festival, we have a very special program in this temple. We're going to present for the first time the real meaning of Bharatnatyam dance. And a very highly accomplished dancer with professional musicians from India, Srimati Subhasini Devi, is going to dance and show the real meaning of Bharatnatyam. What is the real meaning of Bharatnatyam? It is Rasika Bhava, or Uttama Rasa. It is dance by a person who's like the gopis. Her only thought, or his only thought, is to please Krishna. And therefore, they have no other thought in their mind. And they have to live like that. To be able to properly dance Bharatnatyam, you have to be a genuine, pure devotee of Lord Krishna. And like the gopis, you have to be trained in how to please Krishna by your dress, by your whole presence, and by your feelings. Those feelings are called bhava. And if the dancer is in that mood of the gopis and actually living like that on a 24-hour basis, when she dances, she brings the audience up to that level also. They actually experience her bhava of love for Krishna. That's the real meaning. It's not, that's not Bharatnatyam dance. You say, Bharatnatyam dance is reserved for the highest devotees, Those girls or men who did that in India for Ranganath or for Balaji or whatever, they were dedicated 100% to the Lord. They didn't care about anything else. They were like the gopis. They had pure desire. Their only desire was to please Krishna. They had no desire to please themselves. So we're going to explain this, and also Subhasini Devi is going to try and actually demonstrate it. And there's this mystical thing that happens when the dancer is actually dancing only for the pleasure of the Lord. The whole audience gets elevated in consciousness. That was the original purpose of Bharatanatyam and the other dance styles in India that were performed in the temples. Okay, so now, in the conditioned soul, the desire to enjoy material results of work is so deep-rooted that it is very difficult, even for great sages, to control such desires, despite great endeavors. So we see Durvasa Muni, he was not able to control his anger, even though he was a Siddha yogi. He had mastered the 8 siddhis, the perfections of yoga, but he couldn't control his anger because of jealousy. A devotee of the Lord, constantly engaged in devotional service in Krishna consciousness, is perfect in self-realization and very quickly attains liberation in the Supreme. So what is self-realization? You cannot realize who you are unless it's in relationship to someone else. So you can realize who you really are in relationship to Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Self, and we are the servitor self. So when we engage in Krishna's service, then we realize who I really am. I am not Telangana, I'm not Andhra, I'm not Bengali, I'm not Punjabi, I'm not Gujarati. Chivera Swarupahaya Nityera Krishnadas. I'm Krishna's eternal servant. That's our real identity. And my family is Achyuta Gotra. It's Krishna's family, you see. So now we begin to understand who I actually am when we relate to Krishna. That's called Sambandha. Sambandha means introduction to Krishna. And then Abhideya means acting in that relationship. Krishna is the Supreme God. I am His eternal servant. Krishna Mahante Ham Tuche. Krishna is the greatest and I am the least. See? So this is real philosophy. And philosophy, there's a difference between philosophy and philosophy. Philosophy is, I do some yoga, like this, and I become God. That's a bunch of nonsense. You can blow your nose all you want, you'll never become God. You know, otherwise, Kleenex would be the way to become God conscious. You see. So let's get it straight. The tuch doesn't become mahant. Tuch is always tuch. Something that is almost nothing is always almost nothing. But by becoming related to Krishna and acting in Krishna's service, then you become something. You could become like Mirabai. She lived what? How many years ago did she live? 300 years ago? But still, people remember her. How about Arjuna? He was there 5,000 years ago. Still we remember him. Right? And how about Surya or Vivaswan? We remember him because Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita originally to Vivaswan 1.7 million years ago. You see? So, therefore, we remember those people who became pure devotees. King Janak, Hanuman, right? Arjuna, Kunti Devi. These are great people. And we remember them. We read their words. We're inspired by their lives. So, therefore, a devotee of the Lord, constantly engaged in devotional service and Krishna consciousness, perfect in self-realization, very quickly attains liberation in the Supreme. Owing to his complete knowledge and self-realization, he always remains in trance. To cite an analogous example of this, trance means your mind is fixed on Krishna 24 hours a day, but yet you still function in society. You see, it's not that you're in a closed room or in a cave, dark cave, just meditating. No, you're functioning. You're doing everything. Taking care of your kids, taking care of your family, working, but your mind is always focused on Krishna. And you arrange all the functions in your life to be able to offer the result to Krishna. That is a trance. That's samadhi, real samadhi. So, therefore, by vision, by meditation, and by touch only, do the fish, the tortoise, and the birds maintain their offspring. Similarly, do I also, O Padmaja. So, the fish brings up its offspring simply by looking at them. The tortoise brings up its offspring or children simply by meditation. The eggs of the tortoise are laid on land, and the tortoise meditates on the eggs while in the water. Similarly, the devotee in Krishna consciousness, although far away from the Lord's abode, can elevate himself to that abode, meaning Vaikuntha, simply by thinking of him constantly, by engagement in Krishna consciousness. He does not feel the pangs of material miseries. This state of life is called Brahma Nirvana, or absence of material miseries, due to being constantly immersed in the Supreme. So, if you're constantly thinking of Krishna, yat karosi yad asnasi yad johosi dadasi yad tapasyasi konteya tat kurusva madarpanam. Everything you do, everything you offer and sacrifice, all austerities you perform, and everything you eat, you should do it as an offering to Lord Krishna. Then, subha subha phaler evam moksyasi karma bandhanai sanyasya yoga yutta atma vimukto mam upaisyasi. In this way, by doing these things, giving everything to Krishna, the food you eat, then he gives it back to you as his prasad, and so forth, you will be freed from the bondage of work, from karma bandha, the entanglement in the laws of karma, and its auspicious and inauspicious results. With your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you'll be liberated and come to me. So here we have two verses where Krishna is promising that if you can fix your mind on him always, very quickly, you'll be liberated from the cycle of birth and death. Very quickly. And he says this in many different places in Bhagavad Gita. For example, in the 12th chapter, 6th and 7th verse, Krishna says, Yetu karmani sarvani karmani mai sanyasa matpara ananyanaiva yogena mam dhyayantu upasate te samaham samudartam mrityu samsara sagara bhavami nachirat partha mai avesita chetasam. He says, but those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me, and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service, and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Prita, for them I am the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. So Krishna is saying that he will quickly liberate us from the cycle of birth and death if we can fix our mind on him. This is like jaldi hai, right? No more, no waiting, many lifetimes. This is jaldi hai. You fix your mind on Krishna, you take care of Krishna, Krishna takes care of you, right? Huh?
In this practice.
Yes, right away. So, many times he says this. Also in the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it says, Man manavava mad bhakto madhyajimam namaskuru mam evaisasi yuktvaivam atmanam matparayanaha. So this is a very good verse. He says, O Arjuna, always engage your mind in thinking of me. Become my devotee. Offer obeisances to me and worship me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. He's promising you. So, everything is determined by what's going on up here in the mind. If the mind is a nightclub, right? If you're doing the bhangra in the mind, you're not going back to Krishna. But if the mind is a mandir, where you're always thinking of Krishna, so to think of Krishna, it requires great determination. Because in this world, we're surrounded by weapons of mass distraction. The number one weapon of mass distraction today is called the dumb phone. I call it the dumb phone, but actually it's called the smartphone. See? The dumb phone can keep you engaged all day long in nonsense. Take your mind completely away from Krishna. See? Now, this is only the beginning of scientific advancement. Pretty soon they'll have the dumb chip that when you're born, they'll put it in your brain. So you have the internet 24 hours a day in your mind. See, that's coming. So, what can we do to not become victimized by this? We can become Krishna conscious. Then you can differentiate between what is favorable for Krishna and what is not favorable. That's called Krishna consciousness. Now I'm going to read one more thing and then we'll stop. There was an astrologer 500 years ago, and he visited Lord Chaitanya. And this astrologer was very famous, and he was an expert in the Bhrigu Samhita. He knew through astrology anyone's past, present, and future. Today, astrologers hardly know the present. They don't really know the future, and they don't know anything about the past, right? But this man actually knew. So Lord Chaitanya said, please tell me who I was in my previous birth. Please tell me by your astrological computations. So hearing these words, the astrologer immediately began to calculate. He said, when were you born? What time were you born? Where were you born? And so forth. So through his calculations and meditation, this expert astrologer saw in his mind the greatly effulgent body of Lord Krishna, which is the resting place of all the unlimited Vaikuntha planets. So, seeing Lord Chaitanya and seeing, the result of all his calculations, that he's actually Lord Krishna, he became confused. Yeah, it never happened. He never met God before. Everybody meets, you're going on a long trip. You're going to meet somebody. It's going to be very profitable, and so forth. One of those nonsense astrological things. But here, he could understand. He was an top expert astrologer. This is not an ordinary man. This is actually God. So he was struck with wonder, and he just remained silent when Lord Chaitanya said, so, what's the news? He said he couldn't speak. He was tongue-tied. So, finally he began to speak. He said, my dear sir, in your previous birth, you were the shelter of all creation. Jagat Ashraya. He used that word. You were Jagat Ashraya. And then he said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Paripurna Bhagavan. Paripurna Bhagavan. And then he said, full of all opulences, Sarva Aishwarya. You had all opulences. You see, he was very eloquent also, speaking Sanskrit. You are now the same personality of Godhead that you were in your previous birth. Your identity is inconceivable, eternal happiness. Well, when the astrologer was speaking in this way, Lord Chaitanya stopped him and he began to smile. He said, my dear sir, I think you do not know very clearly what I was. For I know that in my previous birth, I was just a cowherd boy. Yeah. What? Yeah, okay. He was just a cowherd boy. Yeah, he was taking care of Nanda Maharaja's cows in Vrindavan. So, Srila Prabhupada writes, our Gurudev Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, the words of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the greatest authority, herein clearly indicate that one becomes pious simply by keeping cows and protecting them. One becomes pious. He develops punya simply by keeping cows and not eating them, but protecting them. Unfortunately, people have become such rascals that they do not even care about the words of an authority. People generally consider cowherd men lowly members of society. Low-class people. Huh? Oh, he takes care of the cow. He cleans the cow dung. You know, he's a bungie. You know, that's not what Lord Chaitanya thinks. But herein, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu confirms that they are so pious that in their next lives they are going to be brahmanas. The caste system has a specific, or the divisions of society, Chaturvanya Maya system, Guna Karma Vibhagasa, based on guna and karma, not on janma karma, but guna and karma, quality and birth. The divisions of society has a specific purpose. If this scientific system is followed, human society will get the greatest benefit. Listening to this instruction by the Lord, people should serve cows and calves, and in return get ample quantities of milk. There is no loss in serving the cows and calves. But modern human society has become so degraded that instead of giving protection to the cows and serving them, people are killing them. How can they expect peace and prosperity in human society while committing such sinful activities? It is impossible. So today in America, they're killing over 80 million cows every year. Do you think there's going to be peace? Do you think there's going to be real prosperity in this country? No. Yeah, there's periods of prosperity, and then there's downturn, outsourcing. There's Al-Qaeda, ISIL. There's an influx of illegal immigrants. There's Obama, whatever. So you cannot be peaceful, and you cannot have real prosperity. So that's why we have started our farm with our cows. We have 9 cows, and we protect them like our own children, and we serve them. Yes. So you have a chance to do it too. It's not that they're our cows or my cows. They're everybody's cows. They're the temple's cows. You can come and serve the cows. People call me up and say, Prabhu, can I feed the cows? Yes. What should I bring? I said, bring rotis with ghee. They like it very much. So, or bring bananas. They like bananas also. So, just by serving the cow, you will have peace and prosperity in this life, and you're guaranteed at least a Brahminical birth in the next life. At least that, if not much more. So thank you very much. We'll stop right there. If anyone has a question, they can ask it now. Anybody has a question? Yes.
So the process of devotional service, anger is naturally depleted. So even if we have anger as one of our character traits, if we take the devotional service steadfastly, then anger will be removed.
Okay, the question is, if a person takes seriously the Krishna consciousness, will their tendency to become angry diminish? Only if you understand how anger arises. Now when you get angry, you start breathing heavily, you get a little reddish, you feel this urge to do something, right? So, anger is the younger desire of a younger brother of desire, material desire, not spiritual desire, material desire. When you have a material desire and someone stops you from achieving it, you become angry. So, how can Krishna consciousness help? Krishna consciousness helps by purifying your material desires and replacing them with pure desires to please Krishna. Once you do that, you can tolerate almost anything. But if you don't have that affection and attraction to Krishna, then any little thing will agitate you, because we're full of material desires. Every minute, more and more material desires are coming into our mind. And we have modern publicity. What's modern publicity? Modern publicity is to convince you to buy something that you don't really need, but you get convinced to buy it. So, unless we become Krishna conscious, there's no way we can control our material desires. And without controlling material desires, anything that stops you from getting your desire will cause you anger. Just like if you tell your wife, I'm going to buy this boat, and she says, you're not going to buy that boat. He said, why not? He said, you're not going to buy the boat, that's all, period. And then he gets angry. So what do you mean I can't buy the boat? I'm going to buy that boat. And they get into a fight, you see? So, you have to develop Krishna consciousness to replace material desires with spiritual desires. You cannot kill desires. You will not be able to stop desires. It's not possible. But you can replace material desires with spiritual desires. So if that man said to his wife, darling, I'm going to buy a boat and offer it to Krishna. She'll say, oh, well, my goal is also to please Krishna. But how do you know he wants a boat? Did you ask Harivilas? He said, well, why do we have to ask him? He said, you should not do anything unless you ask Guru. Your desire may be good, may be bad. You don't know. First ask the devotees what Krishna wants. Then you can go ahead with confidence that that's what you're going to do. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Radhe 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 Govinda. Bolo Radhe 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 Govinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Bolo Radhe 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 Govinda. Radhe 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 Govinda. Bolo Radhe 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 Radhe. Radhe Govinda, Radhe Govinda, Vrindavana Chanda. Radhe Govinda, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Tagore, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jayo Jaya Gora Chande Arati Soba. Jayo Jaya Gora Chande Arati Soba. Jagamana Loba. Jayo Jayagona Chande Arati Soba. Jana Vitata Vane Jagamana Loba. Ibadahi Vikaya Chan Banegada Ekate Advaita Shini Vasajata Dara Jai Nandalala, Jai Gopala, He Nandalala, He Gopala, Shri Radhe Govinda, Mana Bachale Hari Ka Pyar Naam Hai. Shri Radhe Mana Bachale Hari Ka Pyar Naam Hai. Shri Radhe Govinda, Mana Bachale Hari Ka Pyar Naam Hai. Gopala Hari Ka Pyar Naam Hai. Nandlala Hari Ka Pyar Naam Hai. Gopala Hari Ka Pyar Naam Hai. Nandlala Hari Ka Pyar Naam Hai. Nandlala He Gopala, Bolo He 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 Nandlala He Gopala. Hey Nandlala, Hey Gopala, Bolo Hey Nandlala, Hey Gopala, Bolo Hey Nandlala, Hey Gopala, Bolo Hey Nandlala, Hey Gopala, Hey Nandlala, Hey Gopala. Shri Radhe Govinda, Mana Bachale Hari Ka Pyar Naam Hai. Shri Radhe Mana Bachale Hari Ka Pyar Naam Hai. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Bolo Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Shiva Jayo, Jaya Gora Chande, Adani Sobha Jayo. Shiva Jayo, Gora Chande, Namaste Narasimhaya, Bolo Prahlad Layine, Hiranyakashi Purvashahai, Shilatam Janakalaye, Shilatam Janakalaye. Ito Nishinga, Parato Nishinga, Ito Nishinga. Yato Yato Yamitato Nishinga, Amitato Nishinga. Ito Nishinga, Parato Nishinga. Yato Yato Yamitato Nishinga, Maye Nishinga, Hidare Nishinga, Narashinamadim Saranam Prapade, Narashinamadim Saranam Prapade. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Vande Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Tagore. Jai Om Vishnupat Paramahansa Paravaja Chastatam Satarashi Shishimat His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Harivilas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Shri Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaura Bhaktivedanta Ki Jai Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Samakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana Ki Jai Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Nitya Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we're going to end this summer with a big bang. You've heard of the Big Bang Theory, right? We're going to prove it that it's true. With a big bang at the end of this summer. So, first of all, we want to thank the sponsors of our feast and our program tonight. Jigar Modi, who is seeking Radha Nila Madhava's blessings. Well, please come forward, Jigar Prabhu, for Radha Nila Madhava's blessings. And Subhag Saraya, who's also seeking Radha Nila Madhava's blessings. Please come forward, Subhag. Suhag Saraya. Please come forward, Suhag. And Lala Krishnadas, who is also seeking Radha Nila Madhava's blessings. Please come forward, Lala. Suhag, thank you. Please come over here. Damodar. Damodar Prashad. Please let Suhag and his family have Radha Nila Madhava's blessings. Okay. And Punit Mohan Sangal, seeking prayers from devotees for the well-being of his child Neil Sangal Lopez, who is newly born. So we will, right after this, we will chant for Neil. Now, we have a lot of events coming up this next week, the next 2 weeks. Number one, Shri Krishna Janmashtami. The actual day is this next Thursday, the 25th of August, from 6 in the evening to 1 o'clock in the morning. But it doesn't end there. We're going to continue the next day, and the next day, and the next day. So it goes on for 4 days. Krishna Janmashtami. But the actual day